What is better, The Sims 3 or The Sims 4? The question as old as time itself. On this channel we have been comparing those two games quite a few times. I'm trying to do it one by one with different expansions, and today we're looking at The Sims 3 Ambitions versus The Sims 4 Get to Work. In this video we'll be mainly focusing on just the interactive careers in both of those expansions. But before we do that, I wanted to do something different, and today actually I want to have a look at the trailer for The Sims 3 Ambitions, just because, you know, to have an idea of what the expansion is about. Whenever I buy expansion for Sims 4, I always watch the trailers and the reveals and stuff like that, so let's have a look at this first. Right, fire! Oh my gosh, this looks freaking dangerous. Fireman, which is one of the big parts of these expansions for sure. Oh my gosh, what a hero. By the way, it's not in English because I can't find a high quality English trailer, so sorry about that. Oh my gosh, this is stylist career, so you can make your sim look ugly or beautiful. We have the inventor career, and I can see a robot in the background, and what looks like a time machine that looks super cool. Oh my god, what's happening? That is crazy. And oh my god, explosions! We also have the investigator career, which lets us look for the crime scenes and fight the bodies. Oh my god, that looks so cool. And this is sculpturing career, I guess. That actually looks cool as well. So you can do like ice sculptures. So romantic. And Ghostbuster. Oh my god. Tattoos. So much different stuff. That looks awesome. Honestly, this trailer would definitely excite me back in the day. I don't know why I missed it, but it looks super cool. When it comes to us playing this, we're not going to play all the careers because we just don't have time to go through all of them. I most likely would try to look at careers in Sims 3 that are closest to the ones in the Sims 4 pack, but we'll have a look at this. Without further ado, let's begin. And we're back again with The Sims 3, and this time we're actually in a new world, so that is exciting for once. But yeah, this new world looks kind of cool, I like it. And of course, we have to create our family. So for this one, it's going to be a little bit larger, because I'm thinking we should try 3 different interactive jobs. So we start off by creating our first sim. Mopey Symbrosia. Wonderful name for a wonderful guy. And he will be our scientist of the group, or inventor. Because apparently now he can be an inventor. He's going to be ambitious, eccentric, handy. All sort of kind of a mad scientist kind of stuff, evil, you know, just a stereotype really, but it's gonna be fun. And we're gonna choose the ambition where he can create the monsters. I'm confused, but that's what it is, and he loves peanut butter, because why not? We also have Whiskey, who's gonna be, just look at him, he's gonna be our firefighter, of course. So yeah, he's gonna be awesome, athletic, brave, everything that the firefighter should be. Oh, also vegetarian, because all good firefighters are vegetarian, of course. Last but not least, we have Kanto, which is our detective, or investigator, I think they call in this world. She, of course, will be, you know, perceptive, have photographer's eye, be clumsy, of course, perfectionist, and workaholic, because that's what you want in your investigators. And essentially, she will be the wife of Whiskey, and Mopey will be her brother, because why not? So yeah, that's our family. The Symbrosias are back. They're like 4th cousins of Katarina, or something. I'm not sure how the family tree works at this point, but that doesn't matter because we're choosing our own new little house. And we're gonna go for the little house in the swamp, because why not? There's no time like the present, so we get Whiskey to become a firefighter straight away. I have to say the fire station looks awesome in this, I really like it. And Kanto becomes an investigator, because that's what we shall do. I think that's gonna be fun. And yeah, when it comes to Mopey, so Mopey is gonna be our inventor, and he will have his own little station here at the house, because apparently here it's not necessarily a job. It's like a self-employment to be an inventor, and that's most of what these jobs do, like the investigator and stuff technically employs you, but you do your own hours, which is slightly different than Sims 4. But yeah, we got the like a workstation, which is similar to the work table from The Sims 4, or even a little bit similar to the robotic table, because this table allows us to invent lots of cool stuff. I like the house. It's on a swamp, which is a cool little vibe, and we have two kind of like a separate little houses, one for Mopey, the other one's for the lovely couple. So yeah, I like the way we're starting off. We have just started, but we already have our first success. So throw safety goggles to the wind and harness the power of invention. A brilliant mind and a blowtorch can turn yesterday's scrap into tomorrow's must-have life improvement gadgets. Who knows what the next big discovery or explosion will yield. And essentially what we did is gain a skill in invention, which allows us to register as an inventor, from what I understand. Since now we are official inventors, we can go and collect some scraps. So you basically, in this expansion, you have a new type of lot, which is the scrapyard, and basically your sim just digs for trash. So yeah, that's fun, I guess. It is something to do, I guess. Goal here is not necessarily to complete all of the life ambitions, but I really wanted to test out this pack, and my sims were able to show me some stuff on their own. So apparently there's now doing washing in The Sims 3, which I believe was introduced in this pack. I might be wrong, but that's what I understand, which is kind of cool. We had to buy a completely separate DLC in Sims 4 to get that. I was trying to see if we can potentially try on a baby, but it didn't work. So yeah, so we'll just get everyone's needs up for a day of work. In the morning, Mopey decided to just invent in his underwear, because why not? That's a great thing to do in the morning in your underwear, which is awesome. But then we got our first case. Anna Liza Riddle wants me to dig up some low-level dirt on someone. Before I get too deep into the case, I should check with Anna Liz Riddle for details that we cannot discuss over the phone. Investigators, we're on the case. Kanto got ready to go into the case, but then Whiskey had to go to work. So yeah, one thing I didn't predict at this point is that all of those jobs are interactive, and they're kind of happening all at the same time. So there was quite a bit of switching back and forth, but we got to our employer essentially, and we have more information about the case. Annalise Riddle is convinced Holly Greenwood works for a small criminal organization in town. Evidence is required before Annalise can conduct a citizen's arrest. I should inspect the mail and search for the garbage at Holly Greenwood's home. Oh my god, we're digging in. Damn, we literally have to go in and dig through the mail and the garbage. It definitely is not gonna get boring. Not ever. Aha! Based on the notes in a discovered diary, Holly Greenwood is an aspiring crony in the local crime syndicate. Annalise is quite the observant local snoop, and probably a creepy neighbor. I should report back to Annalise Riddle with this information. Hell yeah, we cracked the case, people. We cracked the case. To be fair, it wasn't that hard, we just digged through some garbage. Meanwhile, at the fire station, there is an alarm. Oh my god, our first fire. So yeah, we go to this house, and oh my god, the grass just beside the water is on fire. Oh my god, this is a horrific situation, but we saved the day by extinguishing all of the fire. Hell yeah. Yeah, we did a great job. Welcome, Whiskey. Woo! Well done. Meanwhile, Kanto goes to report in her findings, and apparently there's laundromats in this game. Awesome! They look cool. Annalise Riddle squealed with delight when I presented the evidence. I've never seen somebody so happy to witness criminal activity. Some people just don't get enough excitement during their normal day-to-day. Case closed. Kanto has earned job experience because apparently here, even though you make your own hours, there is job experience and unlocks new stuff, but also we got 650 simoleons. While we struggled for money in the base game, this is the second expansion where you can see that, honestly, it's so easy to make money. I presume it's maybe because it was so hard in that base game that they changed it for the expansions, but yeah, it's awesome. We got lots of money and we closed the case. We're awesome. Also, it seems you don't really have a problem getting new jobs because people just call you to tell you that they have a job for you, which I think is quite handy. I'm actually quite glad that I went for Inventor for Mopey because it does show me a different type of job in this expansion, because whilst Kanto is having a job which requires picking up contracts and doing things like that, Mopey really just is his own boss. He just invents, and as he invents, he is able to create more things which then give him a boost. And his job is all about kind of creating and selling things. So that's kind of cool. On that point, big aspect that you have to be also aware of is that The Sims 3 Ambitions does not include ability to make your own businesses. You sell everything from your inventory. While Sims 4 Get to Work has the business option, which for a lot of people will be the deciding factor which one is better. I have to say, I personally am usually on the side of the businesses is a must in the Sims game. So not seeing it here with The Sims 3 is kind of a bummer, but there is a lot of things happening. This game does give you a lot of cool things to do despite not having businesses. So I'm not very mad about this, but it is a little bit disappointing. Some late night swimming in a swamp. Next day starts with a fire. Well, starts at 3 p.m, but we managed to extinguish it with our boy Whiskey, which is another success for a firefighter. Meanwhile, Mopey basically lives on a scrapyard because you need so much scrap if you want to make anything as an inventor, and unfortunately it takes a long time to harvest it or to gather it, I guess. So days passed like this with Whiskey going to fire station doing some top-notch fireman work, Mopey staying at home just inventing all the time and then going to scrapyard every now and then our girl Kanto going around and investigating different crimes all around the city. It was a good life. Look at us, we're like Neo hacking the mainframe, oh my god. Since it seemed that we didn't actually have that much problems in making money, I decided to get ourselves a little computer, which looked awesome, and move things about just so make it a little bit nicer. I really like this hut. It's very kind of a horror-esque hut in a swamp, but it looks good. I like it. Back then, the Sims team could build things that really had their own charm. However, at this point, it did become quite apparent that I'm not going to be switching back and forth between Whiskey and Kanto and Mopey because it was just too confusing. There's too much things happening at once. So I decided to kind of abandon Whiskey and let him do his job on his own. I decided to focus on Kanto and Mopey doing their thing. So with The Sims 4, I decided to create the same family, but using just Get to Work expansion. So I kept the DLC that we tested in the previous videos, but there's no other future expansions, just the first Get to Work in The Sims 4. Thanks to James Turner, because I used his website to disable some of the DLC, so that was good. But essentially, my goal was to try to do things as closely as possible as I did in The Sims 3 to have a fair comparison. So I created my characters. Unfortunately here, we don't have any ambitions kind of catered towards the careers. So we don't have a cop or investigator kind of ambition. We don't have one for the scientist. And we don't have one like a firefighter here at all. So I just made Whiskey creative and he's gonna do like painting or something. Our character's done, we had to choose a house, and unfortunately, in The Sims 4 Get to Work, you don't actually have a new world. I think there is that small world for like making shops, but there isn't actually a world where you can live in, which was quite a bit of a bummer, unfortunately. Also, there isn't necessarily a investigator and inventor career. There's a scientist and there's like a police officer career. So we chose those for Kanto and for Mopey. And we don't have a like inventor table, but we do have the like a crafting table. So I've decided to do that for Mopey so that he can start creating things. And once again, you are not necessarily an inventor, but you can still make inventions in The Sims 4 Get to Work as a scientist. So to do this, you basically have to like read books or do something, and then you have that little icon above your head, and when it's like fully fills, then you have a breakthrough, which is an invention that you can later on then create in a lab, or if you have the right equipment, even at your home. For example, here we created Momentum Conserver, and unfortunately, most of those inventions don't actually do anything, but it's cool that you can do that just by doing everyday things. So yeah, this is our family in The Sims 4, and yeah, I'm gonna be comparing them with The Sims 3 as we go along. But yeah, that's it for now. Let's go back to The Sims 3. Generally, who makes any of the electronics in The Sims universe, because it breaks every 3 moments, which is very, very annoying. Then Kanto got a job. Harwood Clay wants to hire me to do some cyber warfare. Ideally, this will be a big case involving data theft and piracy. Though I'm sure it's just a forum quibble I need to settle. I should interview Harwood Clay for the details. Bro, cyber warfare? That's freaking cool. This Kanto is an investigator. I decided that we need a coffee maker. It's only natural. We get to our client and it's quickly clear that it is a fellow firefighter. So, you know, it's getting a bit personal, but we are professionals. Someday I hate my job. Oh, damn. Harwood Clay is worried that Rich Welioff has been saying mean things about him on the forum, both of them frequent. It's my job to hack into Rich Wolf's computer to set things straight. I feel you, girl. I feel you, girl. I decided to do some hacking in a, public place so that no one can track my IP and stuff. I think that's how we're supposed to do it. And yeah, some matrixing later, we get it done. I'm not proud of myself, but I went online and called Rich Welioff and Nupen Popen, which is apparently something really mean in some online circles. I should tell Harwood Clay the job is done. Oh my god. We became internet trolls. How freaking sad. Our dignity is gone, but congratulations! Kanto has been conferred the new title of Superfluous Sleuth. Bruh, I can barely pronounce that. By the Twin Brook Town Council in recognition for her valuable contribution to the workforce. You watched enough midday TV cartoons drama to know that this won't be easy gig. Analyzing is the name of the game, and you're the one to undo any wrongdoing before anyone does something rash. Kanto Symbiote has received a professional's frosted door to assist in building an impressive investigator office. Your word can be found in Kanto's Symbiote inventory. Kanto now makes 400 per week. That's a freaking good pay. Promotion means, of course, pizza night, and I also decided to install a shower for Mopey because it's just getting very annoying for them trying to use this one bath. It just takes way too long. However cool the life investigator is, it gets a little bit boring, not gonna lie. Especially that it's all kind of the same. You just go to person, you investigate an area or look for the bins, and then you do it all over again. So it gets a little bit samey. That being said, let's go back to The Sims 4. So in The Sims 4, you don't just go out on the house and just do investigator work. You actually have to go to the police station because you're not just an investigator, you're a full-on police officer. And the way the interactive jobs work is that you have a list of tasks to do and you just follow those tasks. It's kind of similar to the events in The Sims 4, like birthdays or dates or anything like that. It works exactly the same way. For example, here we go and get ourselves a case assignment. And then once we have that, we can travel to the crime scene. So one loading screen later, we are at the crime scene. And from the first look, it seems like there's much more things to do here in the Sims 4 than in Sims 3. So we have a whole crime scene, which is a house of one of the Sims in the Sims world. So that is cool, because if you build a house, the crime scene could take place there even. So that is kind of cool. And here we have a few tasks, which is take crime scene pictures, get a report from a witness, and collect clues at the crime scene. So there's a few different things we need to collect here. And right off the bat, you can see there's some kind of like a graffiti on the floor, which is a very strange place for graffiti, but that's a crime that apparently you can do in Sims 4. So we have to like investigate it, take a picture of it, and it's cool because there's other police officers with you, so it's not just yourself, which feels like it is, you know, proper crime scene. Similar to Sims 3, you have like a search for clues button, which then uncovers like clues, which again is slightly more interactive than Sims 3. In Sims 3, you don't see any of those clues. You don't actually look into those clues too much. They just appear, and I think sometimes they go into an inventory, but you don't interact with them much. Here you actually have to look at them, take a picture. So I did like that aspect of it. However, I couldn't find the last few clues, so I was just going around the house trying to use that weird like a signal kind of radar thing that I had to try to find clues, but I couldn't. And of course, Sims 4 being Sims 4, my sim decided to just have a bath in the victim's bath, because why not? But yeah, I found another graffiti, because that's where you put the graffiti, on the floor, and I was just going around trying to find it, which was kind of tedious. But then I realized there was one more room, a little man cave kind of looking thing, which was kind of cool. And see, this is not actually a see-through TV. It shows an item that was stolen, which is kind of cool too. And then you can dust for fingerprints to kind of try to establish who it was. Once we had everything, we went back to the police station. And once you're there, you have to use the chemical analyzer to analyze, you know, the evidence to see who it could have belonged to. And then you also have to file crime scene evidence, which is honestly not that much thing to do. You just click and make it happen. Though I always find this kind of satisfying in The Sims 4. I am a kind of person that likes to see like tick lists and stuff, so for me it is quite satisfying. But in reality, it is not that much gameplay. It is just you clicking for Sim to do something, and you don't really see much other than them sitting on the computer. There isn't like any special animation for this or anything, but I still like it. After having this done, we then have the ability to fingerprint and search suspects. So essentially take them to this special place where you can search them, then you can like take their picture and take their fingerprints, which is kind of cool. But unfortunately, that was the day of work done for us, so we had to go back. Next working day, we went to the police station and straight away went out for a patrol, which meant another loading screen. But then once we did that, we had to break up a fight and give tickets, which is kind of cool concept. Patrol would be so much more fun in open world environments. So if they ever add open world in Sims 4, it would be cool to see this reworked, because walking around on patrol and having like Sims fight or do something and then you have to give them tickets would be very fun. But here it's kind of annoying. There's always loading in between those. And then, anyway, we went to the back to the police station. And we then were sent to another crime scene. And this is cool because you have a little notepad where you have all the things that you need to look out for, which I kind of like about this. So you have like the suspect has a gray hair, the suspect is wearing slacks, the suspect is wearing a short sleeve shirt, and the suspect is an elder. So you have to physically actually look around the map to find those clues or people that match the description. Annoying thing is, I found 2 people with exactly same description. Again, it's in The Sims 4. Also, the graphic is in such a way that I couldn't say if it was slacks or not. So it's very hard for me to distinguish who was who. So I just decided to arrest one of them. Again, that's not the greatest police work, but it is what it is. But I still really like the fact that you have those clues. It is a cool thing. I tried to complete other tasks like talking to the chief, but it doesn't actually tell me how I'm supposed to do this, because when I just talk to the chief, it doesn't allow me to complete this task, so it's hard to say. But then, you know, I did other police work, filed some data, put in a few things on the bulletin board, so it's kind of cool. And also in the PlayStation, similar to in that, like you have in Sims 3, in the fire station, you have like a gym, you have a place to have food, so it's kind of cool because you can you can fulfill some of your needs and also build up some of the skills, and sometimes even ask you to do that, so that is kind of cool. Second day of work finished, and we already been promoted to the officer. So Kanto has been promoted to officer. She will now make additional 8 per hour for a grand total of 28 per hour, which is kind of good pay. She has received the following bonus: 160 and new clothes. So I do like the concept of new clothes being unlocked, and here we have like a cool police uniform that we have unlocked for this, which is kind of cool. Not gonna lie, I do enjoy it. So yeah, at this point I actually felt that The Sims 4 was slightly winning over the Sims 3 when it comes to the variety and things that you could do, and going to the crime scenes was fun. But at the same time, again, The Sims 4, just the whole structure of it was kind of hindering it. And now back to The Sims 3, where at least the life of an inventor is fun because you can go on fire. It's cool because you can just go into the shower to extinguish yourself, so that is cool. I do always wonder why did they put baths in any of the base homes in Sims 3, and I understand now because they're really a big bother. It's better to just use showers. They're so much quicker. Bruh. Life was becoming very samey though, overall. So I decided that, you know what? It's time to expand our family. We do investigation, we do inventing, but maybe it's time to do something else. As such, I've tried for a baby. Hell yeah, Kanto and Whiskey gonna be parents, hopefully. That is the plan. Progression in the investigator career is a little bit slow, but it does give you slowly more things to do, like snooping around areas or doing a stakeout, which is kind of cool. But it does take you throughout the town. And then once again, it really highlights the usefulness of the Sims 3 open world, because it does make it feel at least somewhat more dynamic than if you were sitting in the same little place and just clicking on things to investigate. So I do really like this aspect. Going back to inventor career, I really got bored of just looking for scrap. It takes so long and your hygiene goes down so quickly. It is really bothersome that this is the way to get scrap. You can buy scrap, but it is kind of expensive, so it is kind of annoying that you have to do it. At least there's a few different scrap places. There's plenty of scrap there. It just takes so long. But going back to Kanto, one cool thing about the investigator career that I found is that basically you can have different ways to convince someone to give you information. You can fight them, you can bribe them, or you can just be their friend. So it depends kind of what skills you have mastered. If you're more of a physical skills, then you are better at fighting. If you have more charisma and stuff like that, you can be better at convincing people to do stuff. And also, if you have a lot of money, you can just bribe them. So I like the fact that you have a few different options and a few different ways to do this. So that gives you a certain level of freedom and can help you kind of roleplay. You can be like a badass cop that fights, or you can be like a sly little cop that can, make everyone their friend and then tell them stuff. So I do enjoy that. After the investigation, I tried to get them to try for baby again because nothing was happening, but as per usual of Sims 3, it wasn't a day. They weren't in the mood, unfortunately. However, something cool happened in the inventor career as we got a digger. Yeah, so it's this machine that basically you have to invent and then you have to create from scrap, but then it digs a hole Uh, and the interesting thing about this is that you can go into this hole for an adventure. Mopey has entered the tunnel with a mixture of nervousness and excitement. Who knows what underground adventures await? Bro, that is cool. You don't have like an interactive type of choose your own adventure in this one, but it gives you little updates of what Mopey does in the hole. Mopey has discovered a village of gnomes living deep below the surface. They are hard to understand, but Mopey thinks they are either making him the ruler or they are going to eat him. Bruh, that is a bit of a difference. That was pretty fun, and you come back with some cool gnomes, and then while you play this game you realize that actually gnomes start appearing around your house more and more if you have the hole open, which I think is a cool little detail. While Mopey was on his adventures, I decided that we need to have a date night. So Whiskey and Mopey went on a nice little date into the park, swung on little swings, just had a good old time, chatting, and just having a lovely little afternoon. What else can you want? The next couple of days, Kanto was doing her investigations, her work as she usually does. Now, since she has been promoted, she actually looks like Carmen Sandiego, so I'm not sure why, but she looks kind of dope, not gonna lie. Well, Mopey was just doing his own little thing going into the hole. Mopey was doing very well in the tracking down a lost cavern of riches, but a massive underground river blocked his path. Perhaps with a little more skill and preparedness, he can overcome such an obstacle in the future. During the adventure, Mopey gathered the following rewards: Little Leon Magic Gnome. So as you go around, you can get some gnomes, which is cool if you like to collect them. With Whiskey, we decided to stop the whole firefighter thing because I just don't have the time to pay attention to him, if I'm honest. But because of that, I start giving him different hobbies. So I've started off with him doing some physical exercises, got him some workout equipment so that he can have some fun while we are away doing our job. Being investigated really is paying off, so I got them a bear shower as well, just because it's quicker and it looks better. So, and hopefully it's not going to break as often, because again, things in Sims 3 just break in like 2 uses. It's so annoying. Inventor career at this point was a little bit, repetitive as well, but I found it cool because you never know what next kind of big invention you will make, which is kind of cool. And yeah, as you can see, the little nose kept spawning everywhere because of the open hole, which I think is so funny. While I was investigating as well, we came across this house, which again, this is Sims 3 original house, and this looks so creepy. This looks like it's a horror set, and I love this. It's definitely like Inventor's kind of place is supposed to be, but it looks like it's a serial killer's house, but I do like it. Again, once again, kudos to the Sims 3 house designers. They did a very good job to portray certain atmosphere. With Kanto being away a whole day, Whiskey not really paying attention, and then Mopey being busy inventing, unfortunately, we had a guy come in and repossess our stuff because we forgot to pay our bills. We had enough money, but we just forgot, which is kind of annoying. There should be direct debits in the world of Sims 3, but there aren't. So yeah, he stole our stuff. So frustrating. Look at this, a chairless desk. That's just unnatural. Anywho, life moved on, and we were just inventing stuff with Mopey, and as you can see, the gnomes kept spawning, which is so funny to me. But I think it's time to talk about the Sims 4 scientists. Right, so we are here in the Sims 4 scientist career. So again, it is very similar to the police career. You travel to a new lot, which this is a science lab, and you have different tasks to do. So ask coworker for a metal, practice analysis, invent the momentum conserver. So it is very, very similar type of experience, except with this one you don't really travel to any crime scenes or anything. You usually just stay in the lab, and yeah, we have different coworkers which we have to smoosh with, how it is in the office. you also have to ask them for metals and crystals all the time, which I don't get why. I guess you need them for some kind of inventions, but it'd be nice if we could go around and try to find them as part of the task, but that's not how it is. And as it is with a lot of things with Sims 4, a lot of the parts here, a lot of the things that you do are kind of bound to these machines, rather than like in the Sims 3 where you have just one crafting kind of table and you invent stuff. Here you have different machines to do different tasks, which is okay, I guess, but that's how they like to do it in Sims 4, right? The Sims 3, they try to kind of unify it under one like item, which is, again, it is fine. We create the momentum converter, which is essentially just a statue, because you don't really do anything with it. It's just, you just look at it. It might give you some kind of a moodlet, I think, but again, it's not ideal. It's just a toy, realistically, but you have to start somewhere. And yeah, there's not really much to it here, really. I have to say, compared to The Sims 3, it feels like a bit of a downgrade. You know, you can do stuff like you can synthesize serum, like synthetic food and stuff, but it definitely feels less inventive and fun than Sims 3 Inventor Career. But I like the vibe of it, and of course there's a fire, because why would anything work in Sims 4? It all has to go on fire. But yeah, that's end of our shift. We didn't really do much, but we have been promoted to Apprentice Inventor. We will now make additional 8 simoleons per hour for a grand total of 32 per hour. Also receive 192 simoleons, new clothes, and journey to the stars, which I think is like a poster or something like that. Oh, as a side note, do you remember when we tried for a baby in Sims 3? So yeah, I did that in Sims 4, and they got pregnant straight away, because it's Sims 4, really. But yeah, it's annoying, because I just, at that point, I remember that we were trying to have a baby in Sims 3, but nothing came off of it. Oh, well. Anyway, it's next day of work, and it says, Daily Experimentations. Welcome to Future Sim Labs. You'll be quite busy conducting essential experiments, researching new technology, and maybe even interacting with alien life. It is your job to leverage potent scientific equipment for the purpose of good, we hope. Well, welcome. So yeah, you have to smooch again, you know, get to know your workers. There's plants to harvest, and then we have to make like synthetic food serum, which basically it's like a drink that makes you hunger hopefully go up, but apparently it is all depending on kind of the quality of it. If it's bad quality, your hunger will go down, so that's kind of cool. We also get to talk to the robot, because, you know, that's what you do. And yeah, you just have to analyze like different crystals and stuff. They also have a little kitchen and bathroom and stuff, so I like the fact that they added that, knowing that Sims 4 Sims like very quickly run out of juice, so they do need like place to eat and stuff, so I do like that. But at this point I was getting bored of this, and I don't think there's not much more to it. I know that as you go on you can invent a few things, including like a gate where you can meet aliens, but that day-to-day job is just not very fun in The Sims 4, I have to say. I definitely much more enjoyed The Sims 3 Inventor experience. But at least I got a cool desk for being a scientist, which is kind of cool, right? Back at Sims 3, I decided to expand my house a little bit. I'm always afraid to build in Sims 3, it's just I'm so not used to it. But I decided I have a little door, I might as well create a little office for Kanto, you know, like a little investigator office that people can go in and give me the cases and stuff. It's small, but it is what it is for now. We're not made of money, okay? I'm still not super clicking with the building mechanics in Sims 3, but it's not the worst. At this point, I also remembered that we're supposed to have a kid, so I got them to try for baby again, but then tragedy struck. Our washing machine broke. Bruh. We did have an option to fix it, but I thought detonating it would be much more fun. Honestly, it's cool that you can do that. We bought a new one, but at least we got some scrap from the old one, so that's always good. Look at her playing in her office. Aw, that's so cool. And then our boy Whiskey was also doing his thing, trying to work out and puked for some reason. I don't know why, but it is what it is. Then one day, while we were on the job, we found that there is a protest. I don't know what this protest for. It's against ladybugs, I presume. We just decided to join. I don't know what was this about, but you know what? We might as well have a wee protest. Why not, you know? Those goddamn ladybugs. There really wasn't anything unique happening. We were just going through, you know, the motions, doing our job. But then I've decided to get ourselves a new TV. Let's make it a little bit cooler. Yeah, just decided to upgrade the house. And at this point, I was focusing a little bit less on the job, doing more in terms of, you know, the family life, upgrading the house, and having the interactions. Because solely just focusing on the jobs really wasn't fun. I still enjoy inventing the things and going on to occasional, like, investigations, but I have to say that I was getting a little bored at this point. So I decided to get Whiskey's a new hobby. I got him the clay thing. It's quite big, but decided that, you know, he should have a creative hobby since we actually decided to quit the fireman job. Just look at him go. He is so happy. Then one day when we were inventing stuff, we got invited to the city hall to get like an award. And when we got there, they say, "Is it true, Mopey? Did you really invent a time machine? Amazing! This is your greatest invention yet. It's very deserving of an award. I am proud to give you a Medal of Genius to commemorate this momentum occasion. Display it proudly on your wall. We're also giving you a medal you can wear. Say, do you think you could go back to the last week and find out where I misplaced my car keys?" Ha 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 ha, hilarious. But yeah, we have now a time machine. What the heck? Anyways, with us being a great inventor, I decided we have to expand the house a little bit. I realized the office did not have a roof. I always forget about the roof situation, and I don't quite understand how it works in Sims 3, if I'm completely honest. But decided Mopey needs to have like a bathroom of his own, because at the moment he had just a shower in his bedroom, which I don't think it was the greatest idea. So I expanded his little hut a little bit, you know, gave him doors and toilet and everything, which is awesome, you know? He has like a full-fledged house of his own, which I thought he deserved. You know, after all, he made a time machine, you know? He deserves to have a little bit of a luxury. And also, since the baby wasn't coming, we tried for a baby again, bro. And, like, will it ever come? I got so distracted with renovations and the baby situation that I forgot that we had time machine. So I actually went into the inventory, and yes, we had a freaking time machine. How cool is that? By the way, this is what Stakeout looks like in The Sims 3. So great job, Kanto. No one can see you. Then I actually remembered that life points were a thing, and went for Mopey and tried to see what we could do for him. And there was a perfect trait for him. Efficient inventors are able to tinker and create more inventions with less scrap, which was the biggest issue I had at this point. I stopped going to a scrapyard and just start buying the scrap because it's just taking so long. But yeah, that was a cool lifetime award to have. And then for Whiskey, since Whiskey was no longer a firefighter, I realized that you can actually change his lifetime reward using the life points. So I decided to change it and go for a creative one, since now he was a sculptor. So I went for Descendant of Da Vinci, which brings an interesting point here, is that Da Vinci is actually canon to Sims universe. So that brings a lot of questions. To be fair, The Sims 3 have Paris and China, so it's kind of linked to real world. But yeah, I was a little bit shocked by this. But here we can master the inventing skill as well as painting and sculpting skills. So that is kind of cool. Anyway, it was time to finally use the time machine. So I went and traveled to the past. And that looks kind of cool. It reminds me of Doctor Who or something, so that was fun. And yeah, it's one of those things that you don't actually go to the past, you know, you just have a little pop-up saying what's happening. Like here, Mopey was almost run over by some French cavalry while helping refugee flee a nearby invasion. They were led by a short guy with a serious attitude. Oh my god, What the heck? Mopey barely made it back into the time stream after getting tried by a Tyrannosaurus. Those teeth were inch away. Oh my gosh. That sounds like a great adventure that I would love to see. After helping a famous detective stop a heinous criminal from burning down 19th century London, Mopey enjoyed catching a play at the theater before slipping back into the time stream. Oh my gosh. And then the Keeper of Time jumped out of the time stream almost on top of Mopey while he was trying to save an important Civil War politician. It was all Mopey could do to get away before being captured. Oh my god, sounds cool. Again, I kind of like this concept, but it's a shame that we don't see more. But again, it's Sims, not like an adventure game, so I kind of get it. Then at this point, I realized also that we have more stuff from the investigative career to put into the office, so I had to completely change the sides of it and like reshape the house. And I kind of enjoy this. I want to do more Sims 3 building at some point because I'm starting to get in tune with it. It's still not 100% there, and there's not that much stuff in this version with only the 2 DLCs, but it's getting there and I'm kind of enjoying it. So we tried for baby one more time, and then another time, and then one more. Hopefully we will get pregnant at some point. That would be nice. And then of course we have to fix the computer once again because they keep breaking. Like, why? Why? And then the magical time has come. We got pregnant. Woo! And we could share the good news with Whiskey, who gives us thumbs up. But yes, we did it. We are now pregnant. It just took like more than 5 hours of trying, but we finally did it. And yeah, I would be able to, talk a little bit more about what I did in this playthrough, but if I'm honest, it's all kind of same. It's all kind of just inventing, doing investigator job. I could talk more, but I think it would get a little bit boring. Oh, I can say that Sims 3 has a cool feature which I love, where you can actually put lights on top of a fence, which is just super cool. So yeah, I think that's everything for this pack realistically. And it was very interesting experience. So Sims 3 Ambitions made me realize that expansions work differently in Sims 4, or at least this one does. While Sims 3 World Adventures works very similarly to the way Sims 4 packs work, where basically when you get it, the gameplay of the expansion completely replaces, the base game for you. So for example, in World Adventures, once I installed it, all I was doing was adventuring around the world. The same like in The Sims 4, whenever I do get any expansions, like get to work or anything, I just focus on being a cop, being a scientist. That's all I do. Because the base game of Sims 4 is just so shallow that when you get an expansion, you solely just focus on what's in that expansion because that's content. The Sims 4 base game isn't content, realistically. However, the Sims 3 base game is so expansive that the expansions like the Ambition seem to just add on top of it rather than replace the main gameplay. And that's where I think I went wrong when I started this, because I was getting bored of going in the investigations, doing the with the scrapyard. It was just getting boring for me. But then I realized it was because I wasn't doing what I really find fun in The Sims 3, is having the family life. Once I integrated that to my gameplay, that is when it became really fun. And that made me really think that Sims 3 expansions are an addition. They're to expand the main gameplay rather than give you some content to replace the main gameplay that we have. So I think that's a big difference, and that's a big different approach that I will have from now on whenever I play these kind of when I play the future expansions, because they're not there to completely replace what you're doing in Sims. You continue doing what you do, you just have more things to do, you have more avenues to make money, you have more avenues to entertain your Sims, and I think that way it works very well. I think once I really try to have, trying to get a baby, trying to go to dates while doing investigation to have money for bills, other stuff, that's when it became super fun for me. So yeah, I really like Sims 3 Ambitions. The lack of businesses is a problem, I think. but it's just generally a problem with The Sims 3. In Sims 4, I found a lot of fun making shops, and I still do. It's one of the things that they regularly do, and I think that's why they brought it back with the last expansion with business and hobbies, you know, getting more options for businesses, because businesses are just fun to run. However, I don't necessarily think you need it in The Sims 3, because it's all about that family life. It'd be nice if that was an option, and Get to Works gets a slight point for that, but I think overall I really do enjoy Ambitions more, especially the inventor career. I have to say I love it so much that I am thinking of doing a separate video, just doing an inventor and maybe trying to complete the Descendant of Da Vinci lifetime aspiration. So let me know if you are interested in anything like that, because I'll think that would be very, very fun. But yeah, overall I think Ambitions is better than Get to Work, despite not having businesses. The cop career is somewhat more in depth in Sims 4, but I think it's because that's all you do in The Sims 4. You replace the family life with the job, which isn't really the point of Sims. Sims is a life simulator, or supposed to be. So yeah, I think Sims 3 does it better. But let me know what you think. Do you like Ambitions? If you don't, let me know why not. Or if you prefer Get to Works, tell me why. Is it the businesses? I am very curious. And yeah, you should subscribe. You should really subscribe, because we do this kind of videos. I'm trying to do it on a monthly basis, but I was moving, so thank you guys for your patience. And yeah, subscribe, like this video if you did like it. If you didn't like it, share it with your enemy to make them suffer as well. And yeah, let me know if you would like to see an inventor-based video, or should we just move on to the next expansion. But yeah, let me know, and I will see you next time. Goodbye.